Colored content exclusive.
My name is Victoria, and I'm here with one of the stars from Dear Jesus, Samantha Earle.
Hey, Victoria, how are you?
All right. So I have a few questions to ask you about the series.
Okay.
So for people who haven't discovered the show, could you give us a brief synopsis of what Dear Jesus is about?
Okay. Dear Jesus is about a 20-something young-year-old girl called Mercedes, and she is at the point in her life where she falls from grace. She gets she's a fashion graduate and she loses her job, and she has to humble herself and go and work in her mom's Caribbean takeaway, which she's not a fan of at all. And we see her dealing with this fall from, the job of her dreams, to selling patties and talking to God on her laptop, dealing with her struggles in her love life, her family, and so forth. So her diary, her prayers to God are like a diary, and we hear this and see her typing away, dealing with the day-to-days. So yeah.
So I've watched the series and I'm kind of not addicted to it. I love your character. She's street smart, firm, but she still has a heart.
Yeah.
So how difficult is it to play such a dynamic character?
It's not that I don't want to say that it's not that difficult, because it is, because I'm nothing like Alexis at all. Because she has a hard side as well. But I think when you kind of understand who somebody is and what their motivations are, and the way that they say what they say because they mean it, or it rings true for them, it just goes with it. It just goes with it. You kind of just fill in their shoes and get on with it, kind of thing. I don't want to make it sound easy, because it's not, but that's what acting's about.
I mean, you do such a great job and it's so believable. So when I'm even interviewing you, I'm like, who am I talking to? Do you have people come up to you and feel like they're speaking to the character?
It's funny because I went to a meeting a few weeks ago, actually, and somebody was there who knows their Jesus and is familiar with all the characters, especially Alexis. And she was like, I want to know if you're anything like her, and I didn't know how to approach you, and are you like her? And I was like, no, I'm not like her at all. I'm just play her on screen. And she was thrilled, obviously, to find out that I'm nothing like her. But at the same time, I think she was a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, I think so, because people want to be like that. Like, people want to be exactly out there and say everything they think and everything that's on their mind, and it's so hard. So when you see a character who's so full on, you're kind of like, wow, that's so great to be able to be like that. But it's just the character.
I wish I could be like that. I really do, because I hold on to things, and you know, there's things that we wish we could say. We wish we could say, but we don't say it because it just wouldn't be nice. The things that Alexis says sometimes are just like, they're off the cuff. She doesn't care if she's hurting anyone's feelings. She's very straightforward. She's very straightforward. So I wish I could be like that. I wish I could be a bit more.
Me too. I mean, that's a whole different discussion, but I totally would too. So the show has won awards. What is one of the major themes you think resonates with the audience?
I think there's two main things. I think the first one is that it's relatable. It's relatable in the sense that it's dealing with real life. It's dealing with the real day, and the fact that your should I say Mercedes is, she's a believer in God, and she's dealing with struggles that everyone deals with, whether they're Christian or not. And I think sometimes people get confused. They see the title Dear Jesus and they think that we're going to be some real Christian based religious kind of show, and that's not at all what Dear Jesus is about. And you know, she is just as flawed as anybody else, whether she's Christian or not. And I think that as well is one of the main themes, one of the most relatable themes that people, they watch it and they think, oh my gosh, what's this going to be about? But then they watch it and they're like, wow, this isn't a Christian based show. This is just a girl that has faith and dealing with the same regular issues that any faith or faithless person has. So yeah, I think that's, and I think as well, the characters, I mean, we're not too shiny, you know, we're not too glossy. We even with our wardrobe, for example, we like to look nice on camera, but we're not going out of the way to be too shiny or to be too, you know, up there. We wear things that we would wear in our everyday, that people wear in their everyday. I'm in jogging bottoms right now, the same jogging bottoms I would probably wear on set.
Yeah, so you feel like mostly it's relatable and people can see themselves kind of in the same position. And that's why people really have been drawn to the show.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I mean, last season we had a domestic violence storyline, and you know, that is something that's a global thing, you know, that's a global thing. And it's not necessarily a white thing or a black thing or an Asian thing. It's domestic violence. It is what it is. And, you know, we did our best to deal with it as real and as sensitively as we possibly could. And I think we did do a good job with that from what we've seen in terms of the comments. I think we did do a good job with that. So, yeah.
That's good. What is the biggest message? I mean, you kind of spoke to it a little bit already. What is the biggest message you feel like millennial women can get from the show? So the women of our generation, what can they take away from this show? Because there's so many topics, unemployment, domestic violence. What can they take positive from the show?
I think the most positive thing that they can take from the show is that, you know, they're not alone. You know, they're not alone. Whether you're on TV or you're at home or at work or not at work because you're unemployed, you're not alone. You know, they're women dealing with the same issues every day. And I think sometimes when you're dealing with something personally in your own life, you do feel like that you are the only one, that it's only happening to you. So when you can see, whether it's on your laptop or on your phone or on your TV, that this stuff is happening, you know, this stuff happens everywhere to anyone, I hope it would be reassuring to them, to remind them that they are not the only one, and hopefully to just maybe learn from it and be a little bit more empowered by it. I mean, again, to address the domestic violence storyline, you know, by the end of the season, the female character that was the victim of that violence, she became empowered, you know, and she actually she defended herself against her partner, and it was with the help of her best friend Mercedes, and Alexis, that she, you know, was able to relieve herself from that situation. Obviously, I don't want to give too much away, because if people haven't seen the series, it would be nice for them to see it for themselves instead of me giving away the storylines. But, you know, Rochelle's character, she was elevated by the end of it, and it'd be interesting to see how the new season works out for her.
I totally agree. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited. So the show has been out for 3 years. It started in 2012. You weren't on the show yet.
I wasn't in season 1. I came in
You
at
were in season 1.
uh,
But digital media has changed so much. How do you feel that digital media has been a game changer for Black media?
I
So
think
YouTube, how has YouTube and different sites like that changed?
they've changed it for us because for everyone, whether you're in the arts of acting or singing, or it's changed it in the sense that now we have a platform that we can utilize for ourselves. We don't need to wait for anybody to come along and give us permission to share our work. We can do that ourselves. If you've got a camera or a microphone or an iPhone, you can broadcast yourself, and that is what YouTube is all about. So in terms of web series and Black content, I mean, it's great because I mean, in the UK, we Black people are underrepresented on television. We
I
don't,
totally agree.
yeah, we don't
I
have,
totally agree.
yeah, we don't have like, I mean, I think the US is a little bit forward, a little bit more forward than we are in the sense that you have things like Empire, and you have Being Mary Jane, and even before that, Girlfriends and The Game, and Moesha. Even we don't have that. We don't have that here. So now that we have this platform where we can create our own content, and we can say, when it's going to come out and who we're going to allow to see it, it's great. The boundaries are, they've been broken down. It's still, I mean, obviously it takes even more work, because when you're doing something independently, then everything falls on you. The marketing, the advertising, that goes beyond the whole creation of it all as well. I mean, Danielle, um, our writer and our creator of Dear Jesus, she's like a modern day superwoman. She writes it, she directs it, she produces it. She's hands on, completely hands on. And if she wasn't like that, I don't know where Dear Jesus would be. And we as a group of people, we see her passion for her work, and we automatically have that same passion because we all care very much about this show and the future of this show. So we're all very, very hands on with the building up of this show and where it goes in the future.
I mean, I think it's important that you are a team and you build together. And I visit the UK a lot because I have a lot of family who lives out there. And just watching television, most of the shows that I watch are American shows. And
Yeah,
my family always notes, like when they come to America, they're like, we don't have like a Black newscaster. Like we have anchors who are, just normal, a whole bunch of Black people on the show. It's not like that. You are represented on television. So having
yeah,
YouTube is great. And I think there's so many people craving it and wanting it out there that it allows you to grow
yeah,
quickly and,
definitely.
really in a different way.
Definitely. And I mean, ultimately, we would love for Dear Jesus to be on television here in the UK. However, it's about, whilst they know that there is demand and that there is space for this, it's like some TV gods, they're afraid. They're afraid to make that decision, or to try it. So yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult, but at the same time, we don't let it hold us back from what we need to do and what we're trying to do for ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we're actors, we're a group of creative people in terms of Danielle being a writer and a director. So as long as we are fueling that energy that we have within us, because if we're not using it, we are very miserable people. When we stop when we stop filming, we don't know what to do with ourselves. I'll speak to some of my cast members and I'm like, I don't know what I used to do when I wasn't filming. Like, I don't know what to do my weekends now. Like, what do I do? What was my life like we started doing Dear Jesus. So as long as we're doing it, I think that alone will create and open opportunities for us.
I totally agree. I think as long as you continue to build and build momentum and you're doing so well, and like even to see the elevation from season 1 to season 3, like even the credits, like I'm just looking, like in the beginning, the promo credits, like how you have the characters. I'm like, wow. And I started my own web series. It's more of a reality show, but I'm just starting. So it kind of motivates me and inspires me. And I think a lot of other people who are doing the same thing, it'll motivate them to be like, I can get here.
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. And the thing is like, as you said, each year, each season is a progression on the season before. Visually, in terms of the storylines themselves, our cast is getting bigger and bigger every year, to accommodate these storylines. So, it doesn't happen overnight. And I think people sometimes they get discouraged. They want everything to be how they want it to be from the jump. But it takes time, and it's in that time that you learn. I've learned so much about myself and my craft over the years. Like this season now, going into season 2 of the Alexis Show and 4 for Dear Jesus, I can honestly say now I know who Alexis is. I knew who she was last season, and I knew who she was in season 2. But who she is now in these 2 upcoming seasons is like, wow, I love this woman. She's a great woman. Like, how I wouldn't want to play anyone else in this show. I'm in love with Alexis right now.
No, she's a great character. So, like I was saying, I'm kind of like, wow, I'm meeting her online. What can the fans look for next? What can you tell us about the Alexis Show and everything? What can you say?
What I can say about the Alexis Show is that, as we just established, this season is going to be an upgrade on the first season. We're going to see more of her motivations, where she's coming from, because we still don't know. Well, we found out last season that she was married.
And that's I can't even say what the next part is because I don't want to spoil it for people. Okay, sorry. And then I stopped.
Yeah, that she's married. But this season, we see a little bit more about that, and we learn a little bit more also through Dear Jesus, why she's angry, and why she is so, why she's so harsh, and why she is so straightforward, because she's experienced some stuff, and it's hardened her and made her become who she is. Yeah. But in terms of Dear Jesus as a entity on its own, that I wouldn't even want to give too much away, because that season there is just the best season ever. It's like I'm still patting Danny on the back. I'm still patting Danny and commending her for what she's wrote for this season, in both seasons. But Dear Jesus it's going to be very entertaining. And I know that people have been waiting, because usually we would have been out already. But it's definitely worth the wait. You will not be disappointed, Victoria. You will not be disappointed.
Okay, I'm waiting to watch it. Like, you binge watch, and then you wait for the next season. And it's like, I don't know, Twilight, the book, the show, whatever. When the books came out, or Harry Potter, or any of those things, you read the books and then you're like, I read all the books. Now what is there for me to do? We just have to wait. And I'm excited to see what's next. Anything you want to personally plug?
Well, obviously, Dear Jesus, you can find us at YouTube, which is Dear Jesus TV. Okay, so you have to put the TV, otherwise you'll find loads of other Dear Jesus related stuff. And we're on Twitter at Dear Jesus TV, and we're on Instagram also at Dear Jesus TV. So yeah, you can even just put us into Google and you will find all of our pages. And if anyone wants to interact with me, you can find me on Twitter at Samantha Earle. My surname has an E at the end, EARLE. And I am on Instagram also at Samantha C Earle. So I think it's C Earle. Oh no, I am Samantha Earle, I think. And I'm also on Google Plus as well. So yeah, you can find me there. But all of our information in terms of our social media platforms or any of our characters can be found in the comment boxes of each of our episodes on YouTube.
All right. Thank you so much, Samantha, for telling me everything I wanted to know. And I'll just wait for the next season. So please check it out, everybody. Dear Jesus on YouTube. Check out all the links and follow this woman, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.